the recent Little Nightmares installment created a new question. Is that the same hot air balloon in Very Little Nightmares? Because it looks very much like it. So I believe it is. It does look like it. That got me thinking. At what time does Little Nightmares 3 take place? Where is it in the timeline? I think I know that. We know Little Nightmares 1 DLC takes place at the same time for, well, in this part, you can see 6. We know Little Nightmares 2 takes place before Little Nightmares 1, for 6 finds the raincoat. And we know Very Little Nightmares takes place before Little Nightmares 1. Because 6 can't die. Because there was literally 2 of them. So obviously 6 can't die. This one you see before you, that's Cece from podcast The Sounds of Nightmares. Then I realized how much the butler looks like the carnival tender, or Tim, in Little Nightmares 3. So my theory was simple. After the pretender died, the butler no longer needed his handcuffs. He repaired the hot air balloon from the beginning. He took the hot air balloon. He came to the carnival with his abilities. He made his puppet alive, along with others, similar to the bully. He also managed to get people from the mall both onto his place and his quote-unquote business partner, the candy factory. I say that because these people look a bit too much like the mall guests. They could just be symbolism, but, you know, we're going by lore here. So, what is probably the truth here? The mall guests. That they're not just the mall guests, they symbolize hunger and greed. Wherever there's food they can eat, they're there. The butler, having his abilities, probably was like the lady in the first game. A creation of the nowhere that has abilities. For it's a butler. Who's scared of a butler? And they're not very mutated. They're just hunched over with handcuffs on their back. That is why I believe that the butler and the carnival tender, that's what I like to call him. I know that's not his name. That's why I think they're the same person. Now, the ending of Little Nightmares 3 was kind of disappointing. Knowing that Alone was just some made-up girl by Low. This game, but specifically Little Nightmares 3, does love mentioning the podcast, as with, probably made by Noon, because of her fear of him, Otto. I'd imagine that Low is still in the real world, but like Noon, They're slowly being dragged in, and Alone is actually fully in the nowhere. They clung tight to each other because Alone is Lo's only chance on knowing how to survive without risk of dying. That's why they can travel between the lands. I mean, not like any place that Noon went to connected. That's why Alone was hurt every time they went through a mirror. Lo isn't fully in, and they are just another victim, and this leads me to believe that the kid at the ending of the Little Nightmares, the kid at the ending of the Little Nightmares podcast is, without a doubt, Lo, which places the podcast in the timeline between Very Little Nightmares and Little Nightmares 3. Lo is Alone's only contact with the outside world. And when Lo fully comes in, well, Alone will be the only thing that taught him how to survive. They're the only reason why they survive. That's why they cling on to each other. That's why they protect each other. Because they get something from each other. They trust each other. Lo isn't in the nowhere yet. He's just another victim to Otto trying his best to save his sister. But the sad thing is, we all know that Cece, Otto's sister, they're already dead. They died due to the Pretender. Otto is doing this for nothing. So, my theory on which each game takes place goes Very Little Nightmares, the podcast, Little Nightmares 3, Little Nightmares 2, then the DLC, and the original Little Nightmares are at the same time. This is my theory on Little Nightmares. This is how I connect the third game. You may disagree. You may think I'm outlandish. You may think I just jump to conclusions by saying the butler fixed it. But I stand strong by it. I do believe that Alone isn't just made up. I do believe that Lo isn't fully in the nowhere when we play. I do believe that Lo is the same kid that we see at the end of the Little Nightmares podcasts. I do believe that 6 isn't 6. I do believe that Mono is in a loop. I do believe that the kids have become these monsters. I do believe that some aren't the kids. I do believe this. And I hope you can understand why. You don't have to agree. You just have to understand. Thank you. Have a great time. I've always loved these games. And I can't wait to start theorizing on Tarsier Studios' new work, Reanimal, in just 2 days.